Hi all, my name's Mike. I'm the 3v3 UK area manager, country manager, and I was speaking to Oscar last night. He's just opened up the Mexico one. We were just chatting online, and I said I'll do a video and explain some of the stuff that we do for him. And I just thought it might be useful for everyone else as well to see as well. So, bit of background on me. My name's Mike Melvin. I've been involved in football in the UK for about nine years now. Started off as just a grassroots coach and started then doing 3v3 as part of my training for my players. We built up then through futsal. It was originally called Futsal 3. Then when we joined forces with Bazooka Goal and we made 3v3 UK with the air pitches, and we've just took it on to a whole new level now over the past 4 or 5 years. So these are the programs that we offer in the UK. And I know everyone does it different, but this is what we've done and what works for us. So when I started, and I was just doing local training sessions and local like tournaments, I wanted to see how I could grow it across the whole country. Now, the UK is not big in comparison to some countries we have on board, but even that, me going to London, say, I'm from Manchester, is an 8-hour round trip. So I knew I wasn't going to be doing anything regular down there. And I also, just from things I've learned and done in the past, I didn't just want to go in, do one-off tournament and then disappear. I wanted to leave something there almost. So I come up with the local license program. So this is the first one I'll go through, but then I'll also explain what we do on the big tournaments, how we got working with the National FA, how we got working with county FAs, so that hopefully this will cover a lot of potential areas that a new licensee in a country could look at and how you can hit the market. One of the big things for us when we started it locally was the trust people had in me because of what I'd done previously in football in the local area. I had a good name, a good reputation. So people trusted me to, when I put this on and it was something new, they'd come to my sessions because of what I offered in the past. So I had a good starting point from what I did. So it just built up from there locally. And then that got me into clubs, it got me into the FA, and then that's how it spread around the country. But most of the licensees never knew me before that spread around the country. The local ones did, but the national ones didn't. So we built that up, and it was slow to start with. And it just needed to get momentum. Once we got the first couple on board, then it grew and grew and grew. So it did take time to start with. We looked at the franchising model, and again, I know different countries have different rules, but the franchise model in the UK, in my eyes, was quite a strict process then for the franchisees and the other people that involved. And I didn't like it myself. I didn't think it would be attractive for people to buy into it. Everything that they had to do, there was loads of admin and reporting, and there was a lot of cost involved from their part. It would look great for us, and we'd have more money on a franchise model, but I don't think would be as big as we are now if we went down that route compared to the licensee route. So currently, after 2 years, we've now got 18 licenses around the UK, and this is what we've put together for them to offer in their local area. So I'll go through each slide and just talk a bit about it. So that's a list of all the offers we do, and I'll go through them as we get to each slide. First then is obviously just the welcome page, and then some of these pictures. And again, we've done events now over the years at some brilliant venues, including St George's Park, which is where we host our end of season national finals, which is the home of England football. So the kids know what St George's Park is in this country. So them getting to go and play there and play at the same place as their heroes is just like a cherry on the top of what it is. So all the pictures and all the images that we've got, if you want access to them as a licensee in another country, more than welcome to use anything that we've done. This is where it all started, was our Let Them Play sessions. And this then is just basic. Generally, we go indoor in the winter just because we don't have much summer here in the UK. I was saying that today finally it's a nice day. But most of the time, I talk about environment as a big part of what we do. And creating that environment indoor is just easier for the players to enjoy, for the parents as well, but then also then for the people who are setting up and taking down. Putting air pitches up in -2 when the wind and the rain is coming down sideways is not a nice job. So we go indoor a lot of time over the winter period, which say lasts a long time in the UK. I know in other countries they're not going to have that issue as much, so these can go indoor, outdoor, on any surface. We've done it on hardcore indoor, we've done it on astro outside, we've done it on grass outside, we've done it on like tarmac, like a car park kind of surface, as long as it's clean. We've done that. The only surface we've not done it on yet, and I do want to do it on, is on sand. So our Just Play sessions is just an hour where the kids come, we mix up the teams so it's fair, all right, and we just play a load of games. Okay, so there's no coaching, all right, there's little, sometimes we'll step in and help, but generally it's just an hour of games and that they'll play. We played our normal rules, we don't have any referees, we don't keep scores, there's no winners and losers at the end of that hour. It is just an extra hour of training for the players compared to their normal football training where they'll be learning structures or learning some ball mastery or learning some patterns. This is a place where they can come and put it into practice without having the problems with it with the bigger game. So one of our most popular sessions, and we do 7 hours a week of this type of session in Manchester. Other licenses, they don't do as many, but most of them will do this type of session at least once a week. And second one then, exactly the same thing. We do it for adults. Now this changes throughout the year. So we'll have like peaks and troughs really. It's never been something that we've done all year round. We'll go through like phases with it. Then we'll add in, so we'll do the Just Play, which is just a group of generally men. We do have some women that have done it before, and I've done a specific women's group. I'll talk about that in a second. But it's just good for fitness. If you love football and you're older and you don't want to go out and play bigger formats, you just want to come and have a bit of fun, this is a good place to do it then. The women's one, how we started that was some of the kids who I coached, their mums, I jokingly to start with said, "Come on, Mike, do us a session." So we started a women's group, and again, it was just to start off a bit of fitness, a bit of fun. That then just grew and grew and grew. They then become a proper team, and they're now playing in like Division 1 in the local like football league and doing really well. And that all started just as a bunch of mums who just wanted to do something different and also like impress the kids. Yeah, if they wanted their kids, tell their kids that they played football as well. So men and women adults program. I say we did it on the fun side to start with, but we've also then done like more serious competitions with adults as well. Our training sessions, so this is what we call now our Air Pitch Academy, just because it sounded just really well and just split up the difference, where we actually do training. So there's different parts into it. Obviously, we've got a free book, which has got 33 3v3 games in. So we either do some of them sessions, we make up our own. I one of my favourites then is where we just do an other foot only game. So the players can, for that game, they've got to concentrate on using their weaker foot. And we've seen the improvement in that massively over time. But then lots of different types of 3v3 games that they can do. That's more of a training. So there's more coaching involved in this. And that's a really popular session now as well. Parties is probably our third biggest one that we do. Again, locally and nationally, most people then will offer birthday parties as part of the package. Prices vary depending on where they are in the country and also what options and that they take. We have different levels of party, whether they have food, cakes. We've got one tomorrow. We'll be providing obviously the 2 air pitches, a bouncy castle, food for all the children, and cake as well. everyone gets a medal, birthday boy or girl gets a prize and a trophy, and they're really popular as well, especially once we've built up a group within our other groups. So those that come to our Just Play, a lot of them then come to us for their parties then. Schools program, again, there's different variations we've done on this and around the country as well. So we do a lot of beginner and like activities then for younger children. So generally, again, different in different countries, I reckon. But you know, in a lot of schools, the big problem then is kids being active. The UK government want kids to be active for an hour a day, and it's something like 40% of kids just are nowhere near that level. And the obesity problems then that we have in this country is a big problem. So 3v3, whether they are good at football or are not good at football, it almost forces them to be involved. Okay, and we've seen this over the years, and I don't know really why. I do, but it's just because of the size of the pitch, because of how fun it looks, because of the less players and that are involved. Kids are engaged in the game, so that they're always involved in the game. Whereas in a bigger format, they can just stand still. The game can be going on the other side of the pitch, and they don't have to do anything. In 3v3, that can't happen. You've got to be involved in the game. So whether it's getting players active and just moving around as an introduction to football, especially as they get older, kids then love football but can't join a team because they're not good enough. So they can't go training, they can't play matches. So this is an introduction to football, works really well. I'm doing that for the schools. We've also then done inter-schools competitions where schools will bring, their players down and they'll play each other. And in that small space, we can have a lot of players. So again, issue we sometimes have in this country is availability of like outdoor astros or indoor halls because of the demand. We can actually get more players playing in a smaller space than what they would do in a bigger game. In the UK, not in the UK, this is an England thing. So the England FA, they've got a couple of different programmes aimed at specific groups. One is called Wildcats, which is this introductory game for girls. So again, it's girls who want to play football, but who not necessarily want to play competitive in a league structure. So they'll just play a game like with friends, and it'll be like different age groups together, and it'll be more on that social side, that social football, rather than the competitive side. But again, the problems these Wildcat centres have is they won't have enough girls at an age group to make a team. Right? They won't have any knowledge about positional, sense. No one wants to be a goalkeeper. So 3v3 just really helps these girls get an introduction to football. So that works really well. Club nights, and we still do this now, but it's a big part I recommend to all our new licensees to start off with. So when you're starting in their local area, and then same when you're starting a new country, it's getting it out there. That marketing, and getting that, pushing out to people is really important on all levels. Don't expect people to just come. Build it and they will come. It don't happen. Okay, you've got to go out into the community and you've got to show them why it works. So our club nights that we do, our club days we've got at the moment as well, we'll go to a club or they'll bring all their players to us and we'll just put on a free, not a free session. It's generally a free session to the players, and the club then pays us to put it on. Off the back of that, then we hand out leaflets to our other session. So, we're just bringing an audience in to build up our other sessions as well. The clubs love it because it's something different than that they're offering their players. And the kids love it. I say they're playing something new for the first time. The feedback's always brilliant. And we do get a lot of repeat business off the back of that then as well. Academy days. So we've done quite a few now with different pro academies in the UK. And again, I know it works different in different countries. So here we have what's called Cat 1, 2 and 3. So Category 1 is generally like the Premier League clubs and the bigger clubs, and sometimes that are lower down. and then category 2 and 3 are the smaller clubs. I mean, we've done events now with Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Newcastle, Wolves, Sunderland. I think where else we've done? We've done a lot in the girls' game as well, with different, like the girls' academies, or the ETCs are called in the UK. And then to top it all off, we've done a massive event with the Premier League. So the Premier League, everyone knows, biggest football brand probably in the world, it seems. And when all their kids are 9 in them clubs, they do a welcome weekend. And last season, they did 2 days. One day was 3v3, one day was 6v6. And obviously we provided the equipment and run the event for the 3v3 day. So we had 28 pro clubs, all playing 3v3. We used 22 pitches on that day, and it was just a brilliant day, and they loved it so much so that they've asked us to come back and do it next year as well. Off the back of that, that's when we've got asked to go into other clubs then as well. Once they've seen it, they want to be part of it as well. So yeah, working with pro clubs is really good, and the standard of players is so high. It's great to watch as well. Into our tournaments and festivals. So I'll probably touch on more of this at the end, actually, just to go through a bit more detail. But the difference between a tournament and a festival is tournament is winner takes all. You know, whoever scores the most goals wins. You know, that the normal tournament format. Our festival, we have a different scoring system that we use to create a better environment on the day. So it's not this intense winner takes all, who scores the most goal wins. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more focused on the player. And for me, these are miles better events. But the tournaments, we sell more of them. But I'll touch on them at the end of this. Other programs we do. So again, some of these are UK led by the FA. So under 5s, under 6 football in the UK, they've just started this 2v2 program. So we copied it and we called it Fun Footer. And it was just then those really small, younger players at age 4, 5 and 6 coming to play. And 2v2 actually works better than 3v3 for that age group, because they're not passing. They're all still running around the ball. So just a 2v2 game just worked out a lot better for them. So the younger age groups, that's what we do. And then we move on to 3v3. The mega tournaments, again, I'll touch on that at the end when we go through the tournaments, but these are just obviously bigger versions of what we normally do. So a licensee in the UK gets 2 pitches. Okay, so they're limited to the size of tournaments that they can do. They can buy more, and some do. But then at least once a year, we'll take all our pitches down to our local license in different areas and put on a big event for them. So whether it's from like 10 to 20 pitches, we'll do that then. Club days, presentation days, Christmas parties, similar to the birthday party one, where we just run sessions for a club, and we just charge a fixed fee to the club for that. And then our partnerships with the FA. So I'll go through this in some detail. So that, again, does work different in other countries. And I know if you speak to Harder, who does a lot with the German FA and the German federations, like the local ones, is slightly different to what we do. So there's not this is how it's got to work. These are just what's worked for us, and hopefully will allow you to open some doors with your national federation or your local federation, depending on how they work. So in the UK, we do a few projects with the national federation. First one is the Future Lionesses days we do. So Future Lionesses, again, is an England FA programme where they want to scout the best girls around the country. Now, the girls' network of like scouts is minimal compared to what's in the boys' game. So for a scout who might cover the whole of the Northwest, which is 7-8 million people, they might have 1-2 scouts. They're never going to get round and watch all these teams and players. So what they do is they invite the best ones in, but probably about 100 at a time. And at 3v3, they get to see the characteristics that they want to see in these players. So what they're like on the ball, what they're like off the ball, first touch, can they beat players in 1v1s, the fitness levels, they can see all that in a short space of time, rather than watching them play 11-a-side football, where they might touch it once every 5 minutes. Okay. So we do this program where we go around the country doing it, and then the England staff come down and pick up the best girls. So we've been doing that now for 2 years. We've run about 40 events around the country, and they work really well. And again, off the back of that, we get asked to do other things for local clubs in different areas as well. We also then advised and provided equipment for the Future of Youth Football project. So again, the FA at the moment are doing a review on formats. So at the moment in the UK, the format is at 7s and 8s to play 5v5, 9s and 10s 7v7, 11s and 12s 9v9, and then under 13s and above it's 11v11. Okay, they're looking at what's best, format. So they've been trialing out 3v3 and 4v4 for them younger age groups. We've been part of say providing the equipment for that. They didn't use the air pitches; they just used the goals. But all the data shows that 3v3 gives more returns than what 5v5 does. We knew that already. We've done it. And then also say in Germany, their FA have done all this data already. So we knew that would happen. So we're just close to the end now of that process. And we expect 3v3 to be introduced over the next 6 to 18 months for the younger players to start their start-off game. So I know in some countries they'll start with 6v6, some will do 4v4. We do 5v5 at the moment, but looking to move that to 3v3. And we've been a big part of that, providing the FA then with all our data that we've collected, all our knowledge, all our feedback that we get then from people. So we've been an ongoing process with them over the years. Off the back of that, Pete Sturgis, who's pictured in that picture there, but maybe some of you know him, he's been for the last 20 years the lead manager for the younger age group, so from 5 to 11. He's been overseeing what should happen for those players. So this 5v5 program, the introduction of mini soccer, which was when 5v5 was done years ago, he was part of that and has just been a real ambassador for small-sided games, more touches, more time on the ball, everything then that you get from the benefits of 3v3 and other small-sided games. He's been a massive advocate of that for years. He's now retired from the FA and he now works for us as a 3v3 UK brand ambassador. So we're really proud to get someone like him on board, because people know me, but loads of people know Pete. So I say he really does open up doors to us and has been great. We do CPD events in person. We also do them online. We will be discussing like a worldwide one online coming up soon, where we'll invite people from all our licensees through the 3v3world program. We'll invite people, them to come on themselves, but also then to invite your coaches, your potential customers to come on as well, and we'll get Pete to go through then, like say the benefits of 3v3 and small-sided games with them on there. So that's a real good one. Then we have in the UK, England, Scotland, Wales, they are all different. So in England, we have county FAs, so like local regional FAs. I think it's about 50 all in all. It's like Manchester will have one, Liverpool will have one, London, West Ridings, there's some like weird name, like areas and that they're called, but the whole country is covered by county FAs. We then do partnerships with them. So some we do through Bazooka Goal by using their brand and their name to get us in the door. Yeah, and then others off the back of that, we piggyback in them with 3v3 UK. So we'll be the private provider, approved provider for small-sided games in their region. So when they're promoting it out, they'll promote it to us. When we do events, we'll do them together. So just creating good partnerships with people who are in charge, of local football is really important. Even if, and again, when we started, this was harder We don't expect everyone to be able to go tomorrow and go, oh, we've now doing stuff with the county FA. They need to, trust in what you're doing. That's where, like I said, the Bazooka brand, which is more known than the 3v3 one, just because how long it's been going. So the quality and reputation of that company, but then also piggybacking off what we do. So we're lucky and not bragging, but we know a lot of national FAs around the world look at what England do. The funding, the budgets, the experience that we've got in our FA is a lot more than a lot of countries. So a lot of countries look to what England do as inspiration, to copy, to change, you know what I mean? But they all know, who they are. Whether they like them or not is another story. But we know then, using our, connection with our FA can go, oh, you know what, this could open up doors then for you with your FA. So feel free to use any of the images and videos that we've done with our national FA. We've got testimonials on there. We've got, say, podcasts with me and Pete on there. So feel free to use that, anytime at all. But creating that good partnership with your local or national FA is important, regardless of what direction you're going to go down with your country. Some other one then that we do, obviously, yes, some of these are for our local licenses, so they get to sell pitches and bazooka goals in their area, and they make a commission on them. The talent ID days, where the Future Line SC we spoke about already before, and then the air pitch tournaments. This here, and you can't really see this picture because it's small, but obviously through air pitch, there's different size air pitches now available. So again, we're at that stage where we can go now to our existing database and customers who come and play 3v3 and now say, do you want to come and play 5v5 on the air pitch? Do you want to come play 1v1 on the air pitch? Or one that we're doing is this air pitch fusion, where they're going to play multiple games, like back to back. So they'll come and play 5v5, then they'll play 3v3, then they'll do 1v1. We've got 2v2, we've got 4v4. So they'll come and play all these games as a mixed format day. So that's another thing that you can add. And again, I wouldn't start with this, but I'd be looking to add it down the line, depending on how far you are in how old your license is then. Some of the stuff then we do, this just backs up then what we spoke about before. So this is just league format, so how we do it. I won't go through them in detail, but I'll send this slide over to everyone who wants a copy. You're more than happy to read it through. Birthday party list, let's say what we do on there. And then marketing material. So we have like several of these templates available, and again, willing to share them with everyone in the 3v3 family. Stuff like the picture on there, it's at the Premier League. Right, so it's a brand that everyone in the world will probably instantly recognise, and right next to it is our brand. So people see us working together, just adds that kudos of who we are and what we do. So more than welcome to get access to any of them. And that's that. This is the end of our local presentation. So I did want to go into more details on the tournaments, like I said before. So the big tournaments, because I know a lot of new licensees, this is the first thing then that they're going to do. And I'm not telling you how you should do it. This is how we did it, okay? And if bits of it work for you, if all of it works for you, if it gives you an idea of what to do for something else, that's entirely up to you, okay? So we'll start off then with like pre-tournament. So who's going to be your teams? What age groups are you going to do? Okay, where's your marketing going to go to? What budgets have you got to spend? What venues are you looking at? So all these are vitally important to get started. So go in no particular order then is venue and date of when you're going to do it. Okay, so having a good venue that people will know. So, if I said we're going to play on, again in Manchester, we've got to play at Platt Lane. People know Platt Lane in Manchester. Okay, it's a big venue. People have been before. It's a nice venue. If I say we're playing on St Anne's pitch, they'll be like, who? Where? What's that? Don't know. So picking a good venue, one gives that good image, rather than it being a a field at the back of someone's house and you've got to go around and pick up all the dog poo, right? You're getting a nice venue, nice surroundings for people that is well known already. Okay. Generally, it's more expensive, but yeah, that's part of what you want to do is put this at the top end of people's experiences about tournaments. That's why they'll come back. So picking a venue, picking a date. Right now, again, a lot of this we do then off season, when the normal football season's finished. But if you're doing it throughout the season or even in the off season, there's things to look out for. So it's trying, obviously, if you're doing it in the season, if your normal football day is a Saturday, try and do it on a Sunday or vice versa. Okay. There's always going to be people who can't come because they've got other football on, but try and limit, the problems then that you'll have by what date you put on. If your biggest league in your area are playing Saturday morning, don't put a tournament on a Saturday morning. Okay, just be clever about when you put it on. In the off season, again, look at what else is on those days. So, same again here in Manchester. There's some big tournaments that happen at certain times of the year, right, that no matter how good we are, we'll never be like competing with them, because believe it or not, people will always pick the normal format 5v5, 7v7 over 3v3. Most people. Some won't. Some love the 3v3 that much. They'll come every day of the week, and some do. But if you're going up against, looking at marketing to a big audience who are already attracted to this other tournament, you're going to be like playing second fiddle. So try and stay away from other big events that are on the same day. Small little thing like that does make a difference, because we've learned by our mistakes and we've been there and done it, so we know what we're talking about. And then also look at what else is on that grabs people's attention. So with the Euros coming up, and then obviously the World Cup, in a couple of years' time, is don't be putting a tournament on the day of the final, right? If it's going to clash, don't matter what country's in it. Hopefully it's us. Yes, come on, England. But obviously it's going to affect your audience numbers. So just be clever about what else is on that day and make sure you don't clash with something. Same again in a couple of weeks' time. We've got the FA Cup final on both Manchester teams are in it. I'm a Man United fan. I don't think we'll win, but we're not going to do anything on that day because all our audience are probably busy watching that game. So just be clever where you put it on. Once you've got your venue and your date sorted, it's now then to really concentrate on your marketing. So again, there's something we've learned ourselves and get better at it all the time. Is if we try to attract a new audience, you need to go back to basics to explain what it's about. There's some posts we've done recently, and if you looked at it, you wouldn't know what it means unless you know what 3v3 is, unless you know what we're all about. Now, again, we're in a position where we have a lot of people who know that now. So some of our recent posts, if you just, come to this country and gone on social media and gone, what's gone in this area, you wouldn't know what 3v3 is. So you've got to almost, think most of your customers, as this is your first big event, won't know that either. So you've got to explain to them what it is. And for me, the easiest way to explain it is with a video. It's showing clips of the players playing it, of seeing the air pitch, of showing kids scoring goals, beating players with skills, the big smiles on the faces. So, look at doing a video. So whether you do like a little mini event first to record it yourself in your local area, yeah, you can do that. Or, like I said before, feel free to use any of the videos and that we've got in our library, cut and edit them up how you wish, as long as you don't add anything to it, then that's not relevant. Then we're fine then with that. So that marketing is really important. How you do that, and again, will vary from country to country. Obviously, look at like what social media is popular. So in the UK, and this again is how we found it, is Facebook was the best place for like parents and coaches. Okay, Instagram was the best place for players. Twitter, the best place then for more serious coaches on there. And then LinkedIn is like our professional side where we connect them with administrators and stakeholders in football. TikTok's become obviously more prevalent again in this country recently. So we put our videos on there, and you never know. Some go viral, some don't. But again, it's just another platform to look at. So that marketing strategy that you have is really important with the content, but also then what channels you're looking at putting it out on. And don't think if you put it out once, everyone will come. Okay, you've got to be over and over and over again. I've got friends who I've known for 20 years who only 6 months ago said, "Oh, what's this 3v3 thing you do?" I'm like, "I've been doing it for years. Have you not seen it?" And these are close friends, right? So don't expect people to know what it is, straight away and to see it straight away. I know people who, will go on Facebook once a week. All right, that's just how they do it. So if you post on a Monday and they're going on a Sunday, don't expect them to see it. So it's got to be consistent. It's got to be relevant as well. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it'll just get boring. We have a marketing manager that does a lot of this for us now, and so does like Air Pitch and Park Life with Bazooka. So if you need any advice on what, where, and what and when to do it, speak to us, or look at hiring a local marketing company then to do it for you. It's really important, as not just in the start, but we found now as we're growing, we just need to keep on and keep ourselves at the top of the tree, because what will happen, other people will see how popular it's become, and they'll try and copy you, and they'll try and build their own 3v3 events. That's happened here in England. Don't bother me, because we are number one, and we'll always stay there, and we'll always be doing bigger and better things than anyone else can, and that'll keep pushing us forward. So look at getting a marketing team to help you out, and then pushing out on all these socials. Some of the events we've covered already, so like with the club days then that we do, these are good ways to get into a local club. One local club who's got 200, 500 players would almost fill an event on their own, right? So strategically working with some big clubs in your area, that should be where a lot of the entries come then for your tournament. So by doing that, by doing the social media, by using our existing stuff already, you've got a good basis then to start with then. Okay. That's a lot then like pre-events with it then. Now, how you register people and take payments is entirely up to you. Within the network of 3v3, there is different products and that people use. Some because it's on a local basis. So, argument's sake, I use a company called Tournify, which is what does the tournament registrations, tournament payments, and also then the organisation of the day. I know Harder and Trolls, I think they use Cup Manager, which is a Swedish company, if I remember rightly. I know Jake in the USA has just teamed up with another company who's going to do it for him. So there's different programs available, and there's not this is better than that one. It's, for me, Tourify. I'd used it for years. I know it like the back of my hand. So if we have problems, I can go into it within minutes and do whatever change I need to do. Hardy then said exactly the same thing with Cup Manager, whereas I found Cup Manager a bit harder to use. So it's what's right for you, what works in your country, what works in your language, what takes your payment. So there's a few things to look at, but like I say, they're the main ones then that we use within the network. So feel free to reach out to any of us if you want to look at it, or then go and buy the product then for yourself in your country. So making it look good, this is just part of this marketing, and both ours do, Tournify and the Cup Manager one, both look good to the end user. So it's easy to explain, easy to fill in the form, easy to register, and then also easy for you, the back end, to manage how many teams are in what group, what pitches they're going to play on, who referees on what page, and so on. Make sure you've got a system, because when they come to the day, the last thing people want is if you've got 10 pitches, 50 teams, It could just be chaos. It only needs one pitch to go wrong, and it all can just be delayed, and then it just looks bad. So running it properly on the day is part of this. What people will come back to, they go, we enjoyed that event. The kids loved it. It was well organised. Yeah, we want to go back to the next one. So you might start with 50 teams, and next year 60, 70, 80, and it'll just build and build and build. And that's how it works. But using a good system on the day is a big part to make that user experience really nice, and so they'll want to come back and they'll say favourable things about it. So yeah, system then that you use. Then on the day, the biggest thing I've learned over the years is get help. Right? Whether it's volunteers, whether it's paid staff, whatever then's going to work in for you, get as much help as you can, all right, to set up so it's done as quick as possible. So we have a team now, and again, we're lucky, we've been doing this for years. So 3 of us can do 8 pitches in about 50 minutes. Because one does one thing, one does the other, one does the other, then he does that, then he moves on to that. And we just have this system then that works where we can set up a lot of pitches in a short space of time. When we started though, we didn't know our lefts from our rights and how to do it as quick. So get help so you can speed that process up. Practice it a few times beforehand. Maybe, like say, put on some smaller events running up to it just to get used to rolling the pitches out. Which is your left side, which is your right side, how to get the blowers on as quick as possible, how many extension leads you'll need to set pitches up in this format or that format. So just have a plan in place, how many vehicles you need to bring them onto site, how many trolleys, do you have to walk down a big path with everything, or you drive straight up to the venue, all little things that you need to take into consideration on the time then that you're going to need to set up. Okay, so the more help, the easier it is. When we did the Premier League 2 pitches, there was 7 staff that we had, but we'd done it. We all knew what we were doing. It was like that. It went to clockwork, and we'd done that in, I think it's about an hour and a half, an hour and 40. That's how we did it on that day. So it can be done in real quick time, but having enough people to help out is vitally important. Referees then on the day. So again, we've learnt this over the years, because of how intense that the games can become, right? You want to try and get real good referees. So it's good and cheaper by getting the younger players and younger referees to ref it, right? But if you've got a big event, yeah, the referees are like the face of your company, in effect. So they want to see you, okay, apart from the start and end doing the presentation, but the referee is what people will remember that game by. So get good referees. If it's going to cost a bit more, I'd highly recommend that, because it just makes that environment a lot nicer. For people on the day, they'll enjoy it more. Again, they'll come back and they'll give good feedback. Yourself then, and your organisers, you don't want to be working the event, you want to be spare. So you can go around and deal with any inquiries, you can deal with any problems, also any safeguarding issues. Are you going to be in charge of first aid? Do you have then someone else in charge of first aid? Again, in different countries, there's different requirements by law, depending on who you need on site. So when we go away and do stuff with England, they have a physio and an ambulance on site all the time. It's like overkill, in my opinion, have an ambulance there and then, and 2 ambulance drivers sat there waiting and being paid. But that's their requirement. On our events, we don't need an ambulance. We need to have a number, obviously, of who to call, which is quite simple. But we also need to be able to know the local hospital, if people have got to go there themselves. Do we have first aid packs, ice packs, plasters, anything available then for people to use? Who's going to be in charge of that? Is there someone in charge of overall safeguarding? Again, I know it's different requirements in different countries, but is that going to be someone's specific role, or is it going to be your role as part of your job on the day of dealing with that? Little things that need to be done on the venue, where the toilets, where's the access, where's disabled access, where's the car park, what food vans are available, any drinks, etc. All these extra things then that you can do on the event. So touching on that then as well. So depending on what you charge as an entry fee, yeah, and again, it's different in every country. We charge £40 in the UK. I know in America it's 300. I know in Canada it was 300, 200 and odd dollars. So that's what's normal in them countries. Here, we've tried then higher amounts in some areas it works. So in London, where it's a lot more expensive, we charge higher amounts, but it's because the venues are dearer, the staffing are dearer. So we charge more in places like that. Same, we've got St George's Park. That's a lot higher because the venue costs thousands of pounds to hire rather than hundreds on our normal ones. So charge what is going to be acceptable in your area or wherever you're doing the tournament. But then also look at on the day what extras can you add. So do you have a food van? Then that pays you part of the takings. Do you sell stalls so people are on there selling football equipment, anything, sweets, stuff for the kids? Do you have these other stalls, dotted around selling things? Do they pay you a fee? Do they pay you a commission? Do you sell programs on the day? So everyone who's got to come in, they've got to buy a program or an entry fee, car parking, these little extra things that, you could potentially charge for, make money out of, but is it just is it part of the day? We're doing an event in August this year, which is a partnership with another company, and they charge anyone on site £9.50, and that's on top of the entry fee. So to me, it sounds a lot compared to what we normally do, because if little Johnny comes with mum, dad, and granddad, to watch him play, on top of their tournament entry fee, they're going to have to pay close to £30. But it's what they get for that on the day. So this has got loads of events going on. There's singers on, there's arcades, bouncy castles. So there's a lot of stuff there then for the kids and adults. Then so are you going to put on an event or are you just going to do a tournament? So again, other things to look at then. Formats on the day. So again, this is my preference. You do what you think works well for you. So we've got a reputation of doing short, quick tournaments. Okay. Again, people in the UK don't want to be at a tournament all day long, especially when the weather's bad, which is 90% of the time in England. So we do like short 3-hour tournaments. Right. So how we do that is we do a maximum of 5 teams per air pitch. So 5 teams per air pitch playing group games gives 10 rounds. So 5 teams is 10 games in that group. Okay. If you went to 6 teams, that's 15 rounds. So you think that jump is another 50% for one extra team. It's another 50% of timing for how many rounds that you're going to need in that group. So we try and keep it at 5. That gives us 10, which is 100 minutes. We do 8 minutes game, 2 minutes rest. So 100 minutes is our group game. Then we'll go into quarters, semis, and final. Okay, so that will then give us another 4 rounds. So over 2 pitches, again, this is how we try and do it. 10 teams, 2 groups of 5. The top 8 go through to the quarterfinals, semis, and final. And then the bottom teams have like a one-off playoff just against each other, just to get them a last game. Because if the bottom of the group, generally, they've been beating off everyone, and hopefully the last game, the 2 worst teams, hopefully, will be quite even for them to play. So that works out at, say, 10 in the group, 2 rounds of quarters, that's 12, 1 semis, 1 final. So there's 14 rounds then in the format we do with 10 teams on 2 pitches. Okay, that's 140 minutes. Then we add 10 minutes at the start to do rules and introduction. And then at the end, it leaves us 20 minutes to do medals and presentation and speeches and so on. So we try and do it then in, let's say, in 3 hours. Yeah, that's our time slot. So we'll generally do a 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and sometimes we've done 1 in the early evening as well. If your format and how you want to do it is going to have teams there all day, okay, It's quite simple on maths, on multiplying. So if you wanted people there for 6 hours, you could have in effect like 10 teams per pitch, 2 groups of 5, one group of 10. It can work like that. But work what's right in your country. Think of, let's say, environment. If they are there all day, is there sufficient food, etc., then available for them to purchase? Or do you just want people in and out, 3 hours, done, dusted, move on to the next one? Different formats that work, depending on how long they're going to be there. The other one then, and also I'll just finish off on the tournaments then. So again, every country is different. Are you going to do where everyone gets a medal? All right. What medals you're going to buy? Where you're going to get them from? Again, we have suppliers available who you can use. You don't have to, but you can use one that we've got a contact with, or just get your own locally. We always try and make them look good. So again, you've got 500 kids at your event. There's 500 medals going home, 500 other, being shown to other people, being taken to school. You want it to have your emblem on then. So I always try and make sure your badge is on the medal or on the lanyard. Same with the trophies. How many trophies you're going to give out on the day? Who's going to win? Are you going to have one winner per age group? Are you going to have like two cups, top half, bottom half, and so on? But yeah, what are you going to do then on trophies? Personally, at most of our events, we've gone for more smaller trophies. So I'm not going here on the outside, but the tournaments we do, instead of having one big trophy for the team, we do 4 smaller ones for each player. So all the players who win go home with a trophy, not just one per team. Because generally, they'll share it out and stuff, but it ends up back in the coach's house or gets broken because they're bringing it here, there, and everywhere. So I always love giving out individual trophies for our winners then. That presentation at the end. So this there is where, a lot of your pictures will be taken, what people will take on the day. So having a good event area, right, with the logo, with the gazebo, with tables, with the trophies and medals, making it look good. I've seen some, and it's like, wow, that looks absolutely horrendous. It's on a wooden table that's half broke, right? There's rubbish on the ground, at it. There's a sign that's peeling off at the back, and that's a picture that people are going to take that they're going to keep for forever. So make sure that area you've got, whether you've got big banners up, you've got presentation tables, is a good area where people can take pictures. Even if you've got nothing, right, try and then do it on the pitch and use the goals as like the area where the kids go behind. So the brand is on there and it just looks smarter. But I'd really stress to look at, again, branded tents, branded tables, everything, so it looks really smart with that. We've got, obviously, again, suppliers who can provide that. So if you want any details on that, just get in touch and we'll share them over with you as well. So that's the tournament. I'll finish it off. The takedown in the tournament. Again, this is probably the hardest part of the day because you've been stressed out all week setting it up. You've been up early in the morning, getting it ready. You've then done the full day, and now, as you're tired, you've now got to take it all down. And this again is where just those extra numbers comes in. So the more hands who can help out just makes it easier. One person doing 8 pitches or 8 people doing 1 pitch. It's just simple. But again, I've seen it where at the end of the tournament, everyone's walked off and the organiser's like, what? I've got to do all this on my own. So just make sure you plan that, get people to help you out. Festivals. Last one before we finish, and thanks for your time. I know this has dragged on a while, but I did want to put this together to help people. And I also want, people to share their own stories. So I've said it a few times, this isn't the way you have to do it. All right? Find what works for you. All right? We've just got 6 years experience of how it's worked in our country. So maybe 1 or 2 of these will work for you. Maybe there's something adapted will work for you. And so every country will be different. But if we work together and we share together, hopefully everyone can have more success, and that's the aim for everyone that's involved. I want to be going to Mexico and playing over there. I'd love to. We want to be going to the States and Korea and other countries, Portugal, other countries that are coming on board. So we want to help grow it for everyone, and then the more successful we'll all be as well. Then and we'll have a big World Cup soon. Yeah, we keep talking about it. I'm having a 3v3 World Cup. So we've got to make it happen over the next couple of years, where we invite players from all around the world to a certain country, and whether we change the host every year or do it different ways, we've got to make sure then that something happens, so we all come together soon. So the last one was the festivals I spoke about. This is my favourite project then that we do, because for me, I come to this, to say at the start, as a coach. Excuse me, phone's going. I come into this as a coach to start with. And the reason I got involved in 3v3 is I wanted to make my players better. So player development has always been my number one focus on anything that we do. Money then comes after that. I say, so sometimes, my focus is always on what's best for the players, and then the money side then always kicks in. We do it good, the kids will come back. That's always been my focus. That's what's allowed us to grow over the years. So the festivals, say for me, is my favourite things that we do, and I wish we did more of them. The problem is getting people to buy into this festival style. Again, countries might be different, but in England, everyone wants to win. They want a tournament, they want a trophy, they want to be the champion at the end of it, which I get it and I 100% agree with. We want kids to have that attitude, but it's generally then only, there's only a few teams that can ever win it. Most of the teams, it's like a pyramid. Yeah, a few teams at the top can win it. Most of the teams at the bottom have got no chance of ever winning anything. So sometimes we only do festivals and tournaments for these bottom teams. Okay, we don't let the top teams in. And then other times when we do the festival, we have different scoring methods. So instead of it being on who scores the most goals, we do it on 5 different areas. So it's individual skill, teamwork, attitude and effort, respect, and then last one, parents and coaches. So the referee, or the game manager, as we call them for festivals, because they're not always referees, sometimes it's just a coach, will mark them down on those 5 areas. All right. So kids, should go off and show us your skills, go and show us your teamwork, show good attitude and show respect to the referee, to your colleagues, to your teammates, to the opposition team. Respect. And then also parents and coaches. So again, I know it's happened in all countries, so it seems to be a common problem where parents and coaches are constantly shouting at players. We tell them to start. If they do that, they're going to lose points for the team. Okay, so if they want to win, they need them to keep their mouth shut, and that's then part of what they get marked down on. That's the end of this. Say, if any of you have any questions and want to give me a shout, please do. Just drop us an email. My contact details are on there, or you've got the WhatsApp group we're all in. So hopefully speak to you soon, and I look forward to meeting you all one day. Cheers now, bye.